Nick Wooster was just an average gay guy living in New York City. He worked long days as a male model, walking that easy runway, not a care in the world. When one day he heard of a large-nosed Jewish man named Jeffrey Epstein, who was arrested for trafficking in underage girls for political blackmail. Wooster became suspicious when it was said that Epstein had killed himself after a month in his jail cell, while on suicide watch, in a room with nothing to hang a rope from and no other means of suicide. It made zero sense, and he secretly wondered if Epstein had not just been moved to an unknown secret prison, where he would be legally tortured until he gave up the names of his perverted friends. And while the rest of the world, along with his super gay friends, moved on, he couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't quite right with the official narrative. He tried talking to his friends about it on their smoke breaks, but their brains were completely useless after long decades of sodomy, and they began to avoid him. He started slipping. He quit going to parties and retweeting Chelsea Handler. In a word, he felt alone. Not long after, he became homeless because no one in New York would hire a male model who wasn't unquenchingly frolicking with men doing every single drug he could snort, drink, or enemize. And so he wandered the streets, dressed as a hobo. He had hit rock bottom. But then he began to notice others like him crawling out of the shadows, asking useful questions for the very first time, and stating completely obvious things such as, "Every single mainstream news site is lying to me all the time, continually." He was fast becoming a conspiracy theorist. One night, as he was sitting brutally looking up at the moon in an alleyway behind the last dumpster in New York City that had never been visited by anyone in Greenwich Village, a question hit him, and in anger he shouted at it. "Did we ever even go there?" He began angrily tearing out his hair and uncombed mustache. Then his eyebrows, and next his flesh began to fall away in large scabs, revealing what he could only assume had been hiding underneath all along. When he had collected himself, he resolved to come to grips with the new inferno that now blazed from within, and become who he was meant to be. With a flourish, he pulled an old war vet's jacket out of the dumpster and put it on, glancing at his reflection in a puddle, and for the very first time, saw with new eyes his true being staring stoically back at him. He was Nick Wooster no more. He was now Red Pill Wooster.
Audible hopes you have enjoyed this program.